Willkommen zum Sonntagsbrunch von Anderson Pens für Sonntag, den 19. Juni 2022. Ich bin Eric und hier mit mir, wie immer, ist Brian Anderson. Brian, guten Morgen, wie geht's? Is this not the German day? Welcome to Anderson Pen Sunday Brunch Menu 11 for Sunday, June 19th, 2022. I'm Eric, and here, as always, is Brian.
Hi, how are you doing?
How are you doing, Brian?
Are we gonna have a little outtake of that earlier?
You have to talk to
Justin, the award-winning film
You tell
director.
Justin what to do.
Yes, okay.
I want to say Happy Father's Day, because today is, of course, Father's Day. But just before that, you just got back from Chicago.
I did.
You spent last weekend in Chicago.
Yes, I did not break anything.
I was going to ask. I was
very busy.
May have broken some records, as in sales records.
We did. There were a lot of people there. There was always somebody in the store. So yeah, it was
Other
fantastic.
than you, is that because Starbucks opened?
Starbucks did open.
Are they bringing people to it?
They are. I don't know. I mean, I can't believe
Is everyone
they
who walks in are they
Yes.
carrying a Starbucks?
Some of them are.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are they the big spenders?
Maybe not.
And you were in Chicago not because Lisa was here, but because Lisa flew away to Florida.
She took a vacation.
A 36-hour vacation.
Well, still.
It was nonstop. She was attending the wedding of a dear friend.
Yes. Her friend's daughter.
The daughter of a dear friend.
Yes.
In West Palm Beach, Florida.
Yep.
Where the weather is lovely in June.
And she got to see her brother.
Her brother, who was not at the wedding, but lives nearby?
Yeah, he lives nearby. Okay. Yeah.
And now, on to the 19th. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
And same to you.
Speaking of German, I don't know if we're leaving that in. My father was born in Germany.
Oh, okay.
1934. And about 1938, his mother said, I don't like this. We're getting out of here. Which is why I'm here.
Fantastic. Wise man he was. Wise man.
That was his mom.
Oh, okay.
My father
his mom. Okay.
was 4. This is, most people probably don't. This is my first Father's Day without a father. Because he left in September of last year.
Has it been that long? Wow.
I know. Time flies. And I think, we always know that our parents are going to leave before we do. And at the end, I told him, go ahead, go. Yeah. But it doesn't make it any nicer.
No.
And then Father's Day shows up and says, you don't have a father.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'll be fine. I promise. I'll be fine. In the United States, Father's Day was celebrated for the first time on the third Sunday of June in 1910. The day is held on various dates across the world, and different regions maintain their own traditions of honoring fatherhood. Your father's no longer with us yet?
No. Yeah, it's been a while now. So
we should go on a bike ride.
Yes, we should. I think we should.
That's what we'll do. I think that's what we'll do. I have some banter. June 19th is not only Father's Day. It is also National Watch Day.
Oh, is it really?
That's not the third Sunday. It's always the 19th. So, what watch have you brought?
Oh, wow. It means I get a watch, right? For Father's Day?
I think so. I don't know who you have to talk to about that.
Well, the chief financial officer. Today I brought my Seiko Presage Urushi.
Is that an Urushi face?
Is a Urushi dial. And for you reference folks out there, this is the SARW013.
I'm glad you added that. I said face, you said dial. Is there a difference?
It is a dial.
What's the dial?
The dial is everything with the numbers on it.
Is the dial.
Yeah, it's a dial.
Everything black there is the face?
Yes, it's a dial.
Everything is the face?
It's a dial, yeah. So it's all black Urushi.
Is the dial and face, is it
sort of the same thing?
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not different.
So anyway, that's one of my favorites.
Well, National Watch Day recognizes an industry that has been around for more than 500 years. It is always on June 19th. It is only coincidence this year that it falls on Father's Day. I'll let you redress yourself.
Sorry.
That's an interesting band. It has a whatchamacallit and a...
It's got a whatchamacallit and a whatchamahoot.
I know the technical terms for these things. Anyway, while he's doing that, I'm going to ask you to please like this video and consider subscribing to our channel. His joke today is so good, he's hiding it on a piece of paper and won't let anybody see it. I am ready. I don't know if the audience is ready, but I am ready.
As you know, I can cut a log in half just by looking at it?
No.
I know it's hard to believe, but I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Okay, I like that one. I like that one. I like that one. What does the dentist of the year get?
I don't know.
A little plaque.
Oh.
That's horrible.
Oh. Wow.
I have a second.
I like it, though. I like it.
I have a
Yeah,
second, and I'm going to say you're going to get this one. And I give you permission to get it.
Okay.
Because you think about it, what is a dinosaur's least favorite reindeer?
Dinosaurs least.
Comet.
Oh yes, I was.
Isn't that
I was going there. Yeah. Okay.
You brought a pen. I've already written with it.
Yes. I don't know if we've talked about this before. If not,
It's worth mentioning again because I had to use it during the last podcast, and I kept writing with it saying, "This is a fantastic pen," and I didn't even know what it was.
yeah.
So
This is
what is it?
This is an ST Dupont Line D medium.
And you don't mean medium nib; you mean the size of the pen.
Yeah, so DuPont makes 2 different line Ds. They make a medium size and they make a large size. Large is, larger than this, but it's a little bit, it's substantial. It's a very substantial pen. So this particular pen has a beautiful barrel.
Has it got some sparkle?
It does have sparkle in it.
Look at the sparkle.
And this beautiful, beautiful cap just glistens.
I was impressed by the writing experience.
It's nice. It's very nice.
It's a little wider as a nib for me than I prefer, but it just is smooth and nice and lovely.
This is a medium nib. I'm very, very happy with this pen. So 14 karat gold nib.
So it's a line D medium. Is that what
Line
you
D
said?
medium, yeah. The one big difference you can tell if you don't have it in your hand, the Line D large have a striped metal section, where the medium has just a plain metal section like this.
Oh, so the large has striped metal section, and it's a little larger.
And it's larger, yeah, much heavier, yeah. This is just a really nice, a nice intermediary weight.
And is that a lever filler?
Yeah, it's a hump reverse. It's a reverse hump filler.
Reverse hump filler.
Cartridge converter.
Cartridge
of course.
converter.
Yep.
You only use it with glass converters, glass cartridges.
Yes, safety filler.
Safety
like
filler.
that. Yes.
Very good.
We're seeing if anybody's listening.
I brought a vintage Pelikan. This is a Pelikan 140 green from the 1950s. It is a piston filler with a 14 karat gold nib in extra fine. This particular nib, I believe, was ground down to a needlepoint by Greg Minuskin.
Okay.
It is not inked at the moment, but it has nice clarity, I think.
Oh yeah,
I
can see right through it. Yep, from across there.
The piston mechanism works really nicely. During today's quiz, we'll be playing for my most recent ink of the week, which was the Sailor Shikiori Sound of Rain Hara Hara, which I absolutely adore. So we're playing for me today because I want to put this in this pen if I win that ink. We will find out.
And so this is a 140?
I am told it's a 140.
Okay. Do we know what the difference? What's the difference between a 120 and a 140?
There's about 20.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I don't either.
I have no idea.
Vintage Pelikan is not my strong suit.
This is a 14 karat gold nib, but it's not very shiny.
Okay.
How can I shine that up?
I can grab a cloth and we can do that.
What kind of cloth would you use? I'm not saying we should. I want to ink it up, but if somebody...
You could use one of a couple things. The Clean Carrots cloth that we have would be good for that. Other words, I use microgloss. I'll impregnate microgloss number 1 into a cotton cloth.
Is that the finer of the two?
That's the finer of the two. I'll impregnate it in a cloth and then I'll just rub over it. And then that will get that real nice.
It'll shine. Because this is some sort of a patina on gold, which is interesting.
And I know a lot of people don't like to, some people don't like to remove the patina, but this is not like with vintage coins. This will come back. This will come back. If you leave it, the patina will come back.
I like patinas on everything but gold. Gold shouldn't be shiny and gold. And I don't care for gold, but it should look like gold.
Yes.
Anyway, we will play for my ink in a moment. I think I had something after that. I did have the quiz next, but before, I'm going to read some comments from last week's brunch.
Okay.
I'm going to start pulling
Filling systems?
It was menu
Part
10,
two.
so it was filling systems part 2. R is the name of this user, R. Says, love the Sunday videos. I look forward to them. Thanks, guys. By the way, Grand Seiko is a phenomenal watch, much better than Swiss. I just want to get your opinion on that.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
Of
Okay.
course it is.
I don't know. I do not know this.
I'm biased.
I don't know
biased.
what we're talking about, but okay. So Grand Seiko is made in Japan,
Yes.
as opposed to other watches that are made in
in
Switzerland.
Switzerland, yeah.
Where is what's the very expensive one with the crown?
Rolex.
Rolex. Where's that made?
That's Swiss.
Swiss. Okay.
Swiss
And we're saying this is better.
Well, this is not a Grand Seiko. This is a regular
okay.
Seiko. But Grand
but
Seiko,
it's-
the one I had last week, yeah, is
Okay.
it's top shelf.
Made by Dawn commented. Made by Dawn, who watches from Belize, by the way. She recently acquired a vintage lever filler, and she wrote, I am highly appreciative of this video and showing me how to fill this vintage pen, because she just got one that's a vintage lever filler, and she
Now she knows.
didn't know what to do with it.
Okay.
So you showed her. Robert Cherry says, really enjoyed seeing the different pen filling systems. Maybe someone should reinvent the ink tablets. Just think how easy it would be to carry ink on long trips, especially in airplanes. And I thought about this so I could ask you, when did they go away and why?
I have no idea when they went away.
Okay.
I don't think they were around very long, but
They probably didn't work.
well, I mean, you probably didn't have much in the way of color choice. It was probably black.
That might be sufficient.
It might be. I mean, if you're in the middle of a war and you're in a trench,
Yeah.
you know,
Very sufficient.
it's very sufficient.
sufficient.
It's very sufficient. But it would be an interesting thought. You have like a little Altoids tin full of
Yeah, ink.
colored ink.
I like the idea. We should look into it in our
look into
spare
it,
time.
yes.
And last but not least is Tim Chi, who said, Anderson Pens is the best place to go for pen restoration supplies. I've restored a few Vacuumatics and lever fillers using such supplies. This episode was very relatable to me, but they all are. Keep up the terrific content. And I did want to point out that you do sell a lot of things to repair vintage pens, such as, 'cause I have no idea.
Sacks, diaphragms, J-bars, pressure bars. We have some supplies for Schaefer vacs, O-rings, supplies for touchdowns and snorkels, and all sorts of
And
stuff.
they move.
And they do, yeah.
move
Our
quite a
number
bit.
one selling product is a size 16 sack.
A size
We sell
16
more of those
than
in
anything.
in quantity than any other product in the store.
I have a quiz for you.
Great.
This week we're playing for a sample of Hara Hara for me. That's not the quiz, those are jokes.
Shouldn't it be on my side before?
Sure,
There we go.
because I don't know where to find those. Okay, the first one is store related.
Okay,
You ready?
I'm ready.
On YouTube, we recently published Steph's top 3 under 50, which was really top 3, 25 to 50.
Yep.
In 3 guesses, can you guess 2 of Steph's choice?
One was a Lamy All-Star.
Did you read through this piece of paper?
No, because I watched it this morning.
Oh, okay. One more.
But
Yeah.
that's about as far as I got. So now I have to guess one more.
You have 2 guesses, and you need to get 1 more.
She 25 to 50. If the pen's 25, does that fit
Sure.
Coeco Sport?
Yes.
Okay.
She specifically showed off her iridescent pearl.
Okay.
And her third choice was a Twisby Echo.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. I can see that.
Okay, so it's not mine yet. Now something to do with Appleton.
Okay.
Anderson Pens is located, of course, in the city of Appleton, Wisconsin. How, Mr. Anderson, did the city get the name Appleton? From where does it come from?
Apples.
Nothing to do with apples. That's what I thought too. It has to be something to do with
idea.
with apples. Well, apparently, are you familiar with a man named Lawrence, Mr. Lawrence?
Mr. Lawrence.
Amos Lawrence,
The-
who was the financial backer for what at the time was Lawrence Institute and has become Lawrence University. His father-in-law, who has never been to Wisconsin, had never been to Wisconsin, donated $10,000 to the newly founded college library. His father-in-law's name was Samuel Appleton. And the town was so grateful that it used his name for Appleton.
$10,000 is a lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
Okay, well, I did not. I've only been here 22 years, so.
That surprised me because I thought it had something to do with apples.
Yeah.
Because the word apple.
Although I don't think I've ever seen a single apple tree.
Me neither,
here, so.
but it's a ton of apples right
Yes.
there. Okay, so you got to get this one.
Okay.
And you're not going to. Because this is...
The third one's always hard.
News of the weird. Making the rounds on social media, mostly TikTok, which I know you hang out in all the time, is a recipe for something dubbed Healthy Coke, as in Coca-Cola. Healthy Coca-Cola. Can you tell me, Mr. Anderson, the recipe for this concoction?
Healthy Coke. You are absolutely right. I'm not going to get this. Is it orange juice and Diet Coke?
No, it is sparkling water of any flavor and a splash of balsamic vinegar, which sounds pretty disgusting to me, but we should probably try it next week. We'll just bring it right here.
After our bike ride or something.
After our bike
there you go.
A gift.
There you go.
I thank you. Oh, I guess I'll ink it. How's that sound?
Great.
Now,
Do you want me to hold it?
Yeah, would you hold that? That's gonna... Now, I always do the piston before I put it in ink, but that's not what you showed us last week. You put it in the ink and then did the piston.
I like to make sure if there's any ink or anything in it whatsoever that when I operate it, I'm over the
Would you
vial.
hold that for 5 minutes, please? Isn't that what you told us last week?
Leave it for 5 minutes? No.
I could swear.
No.
Run the tape.
20 seconds. 30 seconds max.
Okay, now, untested.
Well, you giving it to me first?
Absolutely.
What do we got? A fine nib on here?
Extra fine and ground to supposedly
Oh, that's right. You already said that.
finer.
Oh, wow.
Needlepoint. I'd call that a needlepoint.
Have you written with this before?
No. Oh, you're going to post my vintage pen. Go right ahead.
It does post. It needs to be posted. You can write really small.
Oh, that's tiny. That'd work really nicely in a hobonichi. Is that a word or are those dots? Justin's going to have to zoom in on this.
I can write smaller.
What did you write? Because I'm not going to.
Do something every day that scares you.
That scares you.
That's my normal tiny writing.
Okay. Has a little flex too.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't want to flex it too much.
Once.
Oh, very small.
It is tiny. Oh my goodness. But it does pool nice.
Oh, that's... Now, these are available. Not with this nib, of course. But they're not hard to find.
140s are easy to find, yeah.
They're easy and affordable.
At pen shows, you'll see Miroslav's usually. You got that one from Miroslav?
I got it from Greg,
Oh, okay.
who probably got it from Miroslav.
Yeah, Miroslav usually has 20, 30 of these things.
Yeah, that's nice.
At a very reasonable
That's
price, too.
And that ink, of course, it needs a broader nib to really show it off, but it's a nice color ink. This week's Sunday brunch topic is a smorgasbord because it's Father's Day. We didn't know what Dad wanted. And I picked a few topics just to get us going, but feel free to go in any direction you want. Why Dad absolutely needs another fountain pen. I'm not even going to ask you how many fountain pens you have, but I know that you have more pens than anybody I know, and probably everybody I know combined.
No, that's not true. I have friends who have way more than I do.
Really? We will talk after the show. But even with all the pens you have, are you finished? Do you not need another fountain pen?
Oh, I'm not done.
No.
No.
I'm not done
Am I
either.
still breathing?
I don't know what it is. I would like to be done. I would really like to be done. But something always catches my eye.
There's always something around the corner.
Yeah.
There's always something else.
And so if Dad collects fountain pens, you're not going to hurt his feelings at all by getting me another one. Just make sure it's something he wants.
Yeah. And I realize that's kind of tough, too, because we get a lot of people come and say, I want to get my father, my friend, whatever, a fountain pen as a gift. I'm like, well, people have very specific tastes and interests.
Unless they're not into fountain pens, then you get them a
you can get them whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's hard to pick a pen that you think they will like. And if you give a pen as a gift, any normal person would be happy as punch just to get anything.
Yes.
So they're not going to say anything, but you want them to really, really like it. So
I don't think I'll ever be finished because they keep making pens, and plus I keep seeing new vintage pens I've never seen.
Yeah, I don't have all the vintage yet. So,
Or is that your goal? To get all of them?
well, we'll see what happens in the next. I might stop in 15 years.
Okay, we're going to write that down in my calendar. We'll come back.
Maybe in 15 years.
We'll come back and do a brunch in 15
I'll slow down.
years.
Yeah,
I can't even do the math. What year that'll be?
37.
37. Okay, what to do if your pen no longer writes like it used to? So you're writing with a pen.
Okay.
You put it down on your desk. You come to it every day, and it writes. And then one day, it just stops writing the way it used to. Kind of like you just did there, although I didn't see that one writing previously. Before you answer this question, first thing I would do is check the ink. Does it still have ink? And can I check it?
And that's the funny thing too, because even after 25 years of writing with fountain pens, I will still write a pen. I'll pick it up and I'll be like, or I'm down to the last couple of drops of ink, and it starts skipping, and it's dry, and it's not a pleasant experience, and I start getting frustrated, and then I realize,
Check the ink.
check the ink.
Oh yes, well, it looks pretty dry.
There's nothing there. Yeah, there's nothing there at all. So that is the first step.
What you shouldn't do is push a little harder on the nib because it doesn't help,
Right.
and it hurts the nib.
Yes. As I always say, you can flex any nib once.
Yes.
It may not come back, but it'll flex that one time.
Some people touch it to their tongue. I don't do that.
I think that's really an age-old
Yeah, I don't
kind
do
of
that.
thing.
You can dip it in water.
This is what
Sometimes
we
I'll run it under the sink.
Yeah, we usually do this around here if we have tester pens, and if for whatever reason they're not writing, or maybe they dried out because they've been sitting too long. Just go in here and give it a little swish. You can under running water, but see, and
So even without it,
without any
that
ink,
is
yeah.
magic.
Yeah. So and I stained our thing
Look
here.
at that. Cut. Start from the
But
beginning.
yeah, so there, even in this case, if I was in a pinch, there was still dried ink in the feed, and I bet you we could write with this for the rest, maybe some of the rest of the day.
The rest of the day. It's only 9 a.m.
Well, okay, maybe not the rest of the day, but
So don't push harder on the nib.
absolutely not.
Check the
Yeah,
ink level.
yeah.
Let's say it has ink, then you dip it in some water.
You can dip it in some water.
I will sometimes hold it under running water.
Yeah.
And
Or
I will dry it off afterwards.
yeah, if you have a lot, then you can just go and
Yes, you can push it through. Can't
you can just give it a little bit of run that converter down just a little bit.
until it starts feeding into the feed.
Yeah, drop a drop of ink out, and then what you should do is then run that piston back up.
I do that all the time, but I don't know why.
Well, when you do this, you're flooding the feed,
Right?
which, depending on how flexible the nib is, may cause the feed is oversaturated. You might cause a blob on the paper.
Oh,
so this just sort of
ink in the feed and then suck it back up.
Yep, this primes it, and boom, there you go. And so
You found ink in there, or did you find water?
That was water that I had in here that now I have in the pen. So
So now you have a diluted ink.
I do.
There you go. Okay.
Yes, it sort of matches the pen, the color of the pen.
What pen is that?
This is the Anderson Pens Slate Gray Pro Gear.
Pro Gear.
No longer available.
I should have brought my Mont Blanc Glacier so we could compare them.
Oh yes,
We can work on that.
yes.
So you've got ink. You've pushed ink into the feed, and you've backed off the piston, and it's still not working.
Then I think you need to go into full flush mode, full clean mode.
Full clean.
Because if you can't get it, if it has ink and you can't get it writing with any of those, then we maybe need to look at how long has it been since you last used it. Definitely take the section out, run the whole thing underwater and see what comes out. Pull the converter out, run that under the faucet.
Bulb syringe it maybe.
Bulb syringe it. If you have a Sailor, the Sailor maintenance kit
is amazing.
I thought it was the silliest thing when it came out, and then we started using it around the shop, and we were done cleaning pens in like seconds, as opposed to like.
It's just that alone is a reason to buy a Sailor.
Yes. It's a nice little kit.
So if all else fails, clean it.
Yep. Yeah, give it a thorough
Do you
clean.
let your pens dry after cleaning before you ink them?
I am not. I wouldn't consider myself to be very picky.
So that's a no.
Yeah, not always, but usually what happens is I dry the pens, or I'll clean my pens like at the end of the day or at night, and then I let them dry overnight.
Oh, that's a no.
So when I wake up in the morning, then I can just put it together.
That's not what usually happens with me. I clean a pen because I want to try different
You would
ink
try
in
something
it.
else, yeah.
And so I don't wait. I do wrap it in a paper towel. I fold it in a paper towel when I'm done. Mm-hmm. Hold it like, remember we used to do thermometers?
Yep.
I do this 12 times. And
You can also hold it and blow through the section to help facilitate.
I'm talking about a piston filler.
Oh, piston filler. Yeah.
Blow through the section though.
But yeah, so if you've got a cartridge converter filler and you're trying to get that out, you can do the same thing with the bulb filler too. But I'll just I'll put this, wrap some tissue paper on that or a paper towel, and then just put my lips on there and blow through it. But I do the flick technique a lot, and I won't do it on here. But what I'll do is when I'm sure it's mostly clean, I'll put my hand in front.
So you can see what comes out?
And then I'll feel the water coming out. And when I no longer feel the water hitting my hand, now, of course, if it comes out and it's ink, then we know we're not done cleaning. But if it's clear and you feel it, then it's pretty clean. We just need to get that water out.
Same thing happens on the paper towel.
Yeah, so you just
I
give it a
do
flick.
this and I open it, and if it has ink, I'm not done. If it just has water, I'm done.
Yeah, so general disclaimer, you need to hang on to the pen tightly. Not responsible if you do it and you drop the pen. But yeah, because you can flick it like this, but you got to hang on to it. Otherwise, it's if it ends up in the sink, your nib is
Yeah,
done.
it's nib first.
So you have to. I usually like to grab it kind of with all fingers, and that way I've got it really tight. Not just with just a couple. I get the whole hand involved.
Yeah, it is kind of dangerous.
Yeah, I mean it's effective.
It's effective.
But the side effect is...
I've heard some people make a solid spinner. They retrofit it for a pen so that it spins the pen. I have never tried that.
So the Parker Vacuumatic used to have a tool, dealers used to have a tool that you stuck the pen in this little kind of a sleeve thing, and it looked like it was like a salad spinner kind of idea, and that's why we have this now. But then I think there was a crank or something, and then it would just spin. Actually, it would go this way, wouldn't it? And it would spin around.
Centrifugal force?
Yep, and it would to exit all the ink in the water. So you can still find those units once in a while. Yeah, one of these days I'll get one.
Yeah, find one. At least a picture.
Lisa would love that. She'd love that in the collection.
She wouldn't really have to know. You can hide a lot in that basement.
Yeah,
and she's in Chicago.
I am planning on moving at some point though. So.
I actually wrote this down. How often should I clean my pen? Because let me tell you, I clean a pen when I want to try new ink in it.
You clean your pen more than anybody I know.
Well, this particular pen I do because I use it for ink of the week. Yes. And so it's once a week I got to put a new ink in it. So I clean a pen when I want a new ink in it. Mm-hmm. I will clean a pen. I would say I'll clean a pen when I'm going to put the pen away for a while, but whoever does that.
You never know that was the last time you're going to use that pen.
I never know. So the next time I pick the pen up, when it doesn't write, I'll get to the point where I'm just going to clean it. So that's when I clean my pen. Is there a rule of thumb?
The rule I generally use is if you are switching between colors, if you aren't switching between colors, and you've gone 3 or 4 fills, maybe time to, sometimes after 4th, 5th fill, you keep filling with the same ink, but eventually it starts to balk. It might balk. 3 or 4 or 5 fills, I'll just flush it, even if I'm going to refill it again with the same color. These days I don't get to 3 fills on the same color ever, but
I was going to ask.
I used to, but I've been on this thing where I'm trying to use up some samples and try new inks. But and if I know I'm not going to use it, and I'm going to put it away. But I'm probably the world's worst person as far as cleaning pens are concerned. You just saw it a half an hour ago. I was trying to find a pen that had ink in it, and
That didn't write.
and all the ones I hadn't used in 2 months wrote, and then the other half had absolutely nothing in them. But yet they still remain in my pen case.
Yeah, well, what else are you going to do with them? I don't usually clean a pen because I know I'm not going to use it for a while. If it has ink in it, it's on my desk, it's within arm's reach, and I imagine I'm going to use it, and then months go by and I say, oh, I haven't used you in a while. Oh, you're not writing. What's the matter? Let's clean you. And usually I'll just run it underwater.
Yeah.
And then it'll start writing again. But I will clean it between fills if the ink is different.
Absolutely, you should. Yeah, you could run into problems.
Well,
Different
you're talking
brands.
about different brands, and
If you have different brands, even in the same brand. So if I'm going from one Edelstein to another, and it's a different color, I still wanna.
because what's the danger?
I don't want the inks to react. Not all inks are created equally. So
Have we ever heard of inks reacting, or is this just one of those rumors?
no, I think there have been some cases of if you're going from one brand to another, and all of a sudden you've got crud in your converter.
Was that in the 50s?
It was not it happened even 10 years ago, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
I can think of a number of times it's happened to me. I didn't clean it. And I just said, well, you know what? I'm in a hurry. I don't have time to clean it. I'm going to,
And something untoward happened.
Yes. Yeah. I'll just put black in it, but then it comes out kind of nasty and it clogs up a little bit.
So definitely clean between ink colors, even if it's the same brand.
In colors, yeah, or in definitely brands, yeah.
So you shouldn't
Unless it's specifically designed as a mixable ink.
I was going to say you shouldn't mix
and
inks.
you want to, but then you don't really have any control over the actual formula, right? Because you don't know what
No, but you get a surprise.
Well, you do get a surprise, absolutely, yeah.
You get brown, charcoal.
Sure.
Surprise.
Whatever this is, I don't know what that is. That might have been Yamadori at one point.
You've improved it.
Yeah.
The last thing I have here is when you get a new pen and it's your first fill, and let's say it's a cartridge converter, not a piston. Did you have a trick for getting it to actually fill the feed? I guess you could do. You put a cartridge in.
If I'm putting a cartridge in,
squeezing the cartridge doesn't really help.
No, the cartridges are usually pretty firm, so
Yeah.
you stand a chance of your bigger risk there, I suppose, is like pressing too hard and then the thing's
Could you imagine?
slipping out and going out. Usually, I use this kind of flicking technique, and I just into
Where do
the
you
sink.
flick? Oh, into the sink.
Into the sink, yeah. Although if it's an emergency, you can do it outside into the
What
yard
if you
or
wrap
whatever.
the paper towel around it?
It doesn't always work because you're waiting for the ink to flow through. So if I put a paper towel there, sometimes the ink hasn't gone that
No,
far
I mean
yet.
put a paper towel there and then flick it. Your flicking thing. If you didn't have a sink.
Well, I usually have a sink.
Oh, you usually have.
I usually have
I guess
a sink.
they are kind of not very rare, are they? But when you flick that and the ink comes out, do you always hit the sink?
No, do I always hit the sink? Yes, you have to get this
Oh, you have years of experience.
this down, because otherwise, if you flick too soon, then it goes up this way, and it
You've
ends up
learned
on
that.
the wall.
You've learned
And
that.
if you look over by the sink and you come in the store and you look by the wall, there are probably some little spots of ink on the wall that we didn't get out.
Okay, so you've got a new cartridge converter filler, brand new.
Brand new.
You put a new cartridge in it. You flick it.
I usually there are some pens. Pilot's usually pretty good about that. You put a new Pilot cartridge in, and it just, the way it's designed, it really just sucks up the ink and is ready to go right away.
I think Lami's pretty good too.
Yeah. So some of them, they're really good right to go. And I'll try it first. And if it doesn't work, then I just give it a couple of flicks until I see some ink coming out.
Because that can be very frustrating. You ink up a
Yes.
pen and you
Yes.
can't write with it.
Yes.
I want to write with it.
Yeah.
I guess you could just leave it overnight. It would eventually.
Yeah, it would eventually
Prime
make its
itself.
way through, but I don't have that much time, and I just want to.
No, who has that kind of? Who has time to wait on ink?
This is incredibly a first world problem.
Yes. That's all I have for today, unless you have another subject you'd like to talk about.
I don't have much.
Then I am going to put you on the spot
Okay.
with an idea for menu 12.
Okay.
You're going to show me here on camera how to resack a pen.
Do you have a pen to resack?
No. No.
All right, we can do an Esterbrook,
Whatever you have.
which is
laying
probably
around.
what most people are going to start out with.
We've shown filling systems, and we've mentioned that Anderson Pen sells all this stuff to restore
Yes.
a pen. I have never resacked a pen.
Okay.
So, is that something we can do on the camera?
Yeah, I will find a couple pens and we can do that.
All right, that's menu 11 then. Do you have another joke for me?
I do. You hear there's a new type of broom out?
Broom.
Broom.
No.
It's sweeping the nation.
Is it sweeping the
It's
nation?
sweeping the nation.
Do you even own a broom?
Yes, I do. I do actually.
Because I know you have robots that go around and clean your house.
I do, but I still have.
You have one on each floor now?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
One in the store,
I own
too.
more Roombas than I.
So what's
care
the
to
name
admit.
of the one here? This
Waldo.
Waldo.
Because
Where's
he's always
Waldo? You
he's
never
always
know where-
missing. He's always missing.
We should introduce Waldo.
Yes.
What would a pair of termites request at a restaurant? A table for two. Of course.
That's bad.
You mean it's so good it's bad,
Yes.
or so bad it's good?
Yes.
That's all I've got. Anything review?
No, I think that's
But
good.
we will be back next week.
Next week. Yep.
And we're apparently going to resack a pen.
Let's resack some pens.
I have never done that
That'll be
before.
fun.
Do I get to keep the pen? Okay.
No.
Bye.